With the first season, you almost had to compete with Game of Thrones in a way, but now I think you're in a league of your own. You're just competing with yourselves. Do you feel it that way, and do you feel the challenge?
I mean, I feel like we were really lucky to have like a jumping point off from Game of Thrones. You know, we inherited an amazing fan base, and we inherited, you know, the success that they, you know, worked so hard for 8 seasons. So we were in a very privileged position, and we weren't starting from zero at all. So I think the challenge was to just make it as, you know, as good as we possibly could. And I think that still stands for season 2. You don't want to have some sort of like sophomore slump. You want to continue to strive for excellence.
I think there was a certain...
The pressure to succeed.
Yes, because I think there was some scepticism from, not just from the Game of Thrones fans, but just from people generally, because there was the idea that, no, you've done that. So to have succeeded and to have been successful is great. Did you feel, and how did you feel about succeeding, competing against yourself?
I think that's right, is that you don't really feel about, I don't think that it's about competing with each other. I mean, I feel like the pressure this season was, can we not just follow up from season 1 and the apparent success of that, but, you know, top it.
Yeah, it's that thing about the second album thing.
Yeah, the second album, or the second album, because the first season felt like the second album.
Yes.
And now it's like, what follows the White Album?
Yeah.
Or, you know.
I haven't seen the original Game of Thrones, so I can't make any direct comparisons. But what I will say about this series is that every episode just outdoes the last. It takes it to an 11, episode 1, and then it just keeps on ramping up from there.
The realm's only hope is in a leader strong enough to unite it.
With the TV series, you get to stay to be one character for a long period of time. So do you feel more like your characters now? Do you feel like you understand them more than before in the first season?
It's a good question. I don't know if I ever feel like I understand the character, honestly. I was saying to Matt Smith the other day that it takes me 2 months to find it. Yeah, I don't feel like I ever understand a character, honestly.
What do you mean?
I just don't feel like I'm ever like, yeah, I get that, understand what that. I don't. I'm always a bit like guessing. Do you know what I mean? Do you feel like you've just arrived? Do you feel like you're just like, yes?
I don't feel like I'm just arrived, but I feel like, you know, then I do...
Get into a rhythm.
Yeah, the first week is always
awful.
Wonky.
First 2 months for me.
No, I'm like, the show's over.
We wrapped and I'm like, I got it. Yeah.
But surely now that we're like 2 years into it, you know...
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Fantastic.
Do you at least like your characters? Or do you think it's important to like them even?
I love Alison, you know, I feel like I've got love for
they're you,
like
aren't they?
Alison.
In a weird way, they are you.
They're coming from the prism of you, but you don't always like yourself,
no,
do you?
No,
so.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. But you feel protective of them, like you feel protective of a sibling or something. You can't really help it. You are them, to some extent. In terms of like, you know, there's only so much we're ever doing as actors that's not at least some sort of imagination from your own mind as to what's going on.
Yeah, and dialing up and dialing down certain parts of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
There are lots of couples in the show, and you guys seem like the only healthy couple in Westeros.
Yes.
What makes it so?
We're not related. that helps.
That's a good answer.
You're not my secret brother.
Exactly, so that's good. But also, I think, you know, when we first met and started working together, one of the things that we asked both Ryan and Miguel, our showrunners at the time, was this union, is it strategic, was it political, or was it love? And they were unequivocal in saying that it was about love. And so therefore, these two people found each other, sought each other out and found each other, and now they are vested in being together because they want to be together.
Yeah, so it's mutual support, great communication, fantastic sex life.
I was going to say,
and he's away a lot.
Yes, and which makes the sex Olympic.
And your characters are put together this time. How would you describe their relationship? What draws them together?
For Alison, she, you know, from the first scene. Are you in Ep 1?
I'm in Ep 1. My character spans 25 years.
When Alison goes, "Gods, he's Dornish," I think she's got a bit of a.
That's right.
She's a bit crushalicious for Kristen from
quite
the get-go.
Cool from her though, because the Dornish are sort of quite frowned upon, so quite sort of rebellious
Quite
of her.
progressive.
Yeah, quite progressive of her to sort of think he's attractive, I suppose.
I don't know. I didn't really think of it like that.
I did. Because I did all this like reading about Dornish. They really hate it.
Really?
Yeah, especially by like the upper middle class of
really?
Yeah, like they hate
so there's a lot of racism.
Yeah, there's a lot of genuine, like a lot of like they speak so ill of them all the time. So it's like, yeah, I don't think that it's not sort of favourable to.
Well, this is the only right-on thing about
the whole show. Yeah,
and the whole show.
Yeah.
Do you accept me as your queen and ruler?
And this is, of course, a very serious story, but is there a place for fun in there?
Yeah, oh yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Totally. There has to be. Yeah, you can't make a show like this where a lot of it's very sort of turgid and dark and, yeah, like you're sort of set in wet dungeons and stuff, and you need that levity and you need that joy and humour.
And also to not take it too seriously, like, you need to sometimes look at yourself and be like, I'm standing opposite a tennis ball on a stick in a white wig with these lot. Yeah, and go like, this is ridiculous, and that's what, you know, and that doesn't take away from the work. Yeah.
Yeah. With a guy with a leaf blower blowing your face.
Laughing their heads off.
Yeah. No, completely deadpan.
Oh yeah, that was it. We're laughing our heads off.
So what would you say is the most interesting aspect of the story? Is it the politics? Is it the family drama? Is it the war? Is it the dragons, maybe?
I think everyone finds their own level of engagement with it. And I think for some it's the action, for some it's the intrigue, and for some it's the family drama. For me personally, I just love the politics of it. I just like the quiet things happening that have very, very loud consequences. I think it's very true to life. And I find it really exciting.
For me, I really like seeing the family feuds, and not just between Team Black and Team Green, but actually within the teams as well. So, you know, if Green have fallouts, if the Blacks have fallouts, you know, it's really nice. As a watcher, it's really cool to see that because everybody's struggling, you know. I think this show is incredible. I just do. And it's written so beautifully, so I think everyone's going to enjoy it.
War is coming.